In this video, I'll show you step by step how to make your very own Christmas tree for your world. I'll be showing you the placement of every leaf block so yours can look exactly like mine. I also have a quick video on how to make the star on top, as well as another video on making the presents underneath the tree. I will put them all in the same playlist and link that below. I'm not using any mods, so you don't have to worry about that either. Starting with a flat surface, I placed 4 white wool blocks where I want the center of my tree to be. I'm using birch planks for my temporary block of choice. You will need about 24 of these, or a stack and a half if you don't want to have to keep climbing back down to pick up the ones that fall. You will need 4 stacks and 9 blocks of spruce leaves, 38 moss blocks, or green wool, or even just 38 more leaves if that's easier. You'll need a stack and a half of each green, red, and yellow candle, and some flint and steel to light them up. Let's get started on level 1. 4 moss blocks in the middle, and instead of me trying to over-explain, I will put an image of what each level should look like. I'm placing a smooth quartz block so I remember which is the front of the tree. Starting with 3 green candles, then 3 red, and 3 yellow. Continuing with this pattern around the edge, flint and steel to light them up, and it might be a good idea to check that you have fire spreading turned off. Swap out all the temporary blocks for the spruce leaves, and this is level 1 complete. 4 moss blocks in the center, surrounded with 20 spruce leaves, and level 2 is done. 4 more moss blocks in the center, come out with 4 leaves and 2 temporary. Same for the next side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and temporary block, temporary block. Leaf block, temporary, temporary. Same for the next side, 1, 2, temporary, 1, 2, temporary. Leaf, temporary, temporary, leaf, leaf, temporary, leaf, leaf, temporary. Leaf in the corner, leaf in that corner, temporary block, temporary block, temporary block, temporary block. That was a mouthful. If none of that made sense, then I just sounded like an idiot for nothing. This is what we should have so far. There is a green candle underneath, so let's start with the red instead. Now we don't want 2 of the same color next to each other, so instead of putting another red, let's use yellow. Light them all up, then replace the temporary blocks with leaf blocks, and that is level 3 done. 4 more moss blocks, surrounded by 8 leaves, and level 4 is done. Moss blocks in the center. Level 5 is the same size and shape as level 3. There are red candles underneath, so I'm starting with the green. If you are finding it hard to get this many candles, you can just use 1 of each for now and slowly add them in later. Light them up, then swap out the temporary blocks, and level 5 is done. Moss blocks in the center, surrounded by 8 leaf blocks. Level 6 is done. 1, 2, 3, 4 moss blocks, 8 leaf blocks, surrounded by 12 temporary blocks. Standing at the front, we have a green candle underneath, so let's start with yellow. I have also marked the color placement of the candles on the reference images to make this a bit easier. Set light to them, then swap out the temporary blocks for the spruce leaves, and that is level 7 complete. 4 more moss blocks, 8 leaves surrounding that, and level 8 is done. This is where things change up a bit. Instead of 4 moss blocks, we are using 3 and filling in the 4th spot with a leaf block. Continue to reference the images and keep track of where the front of your tree is. Adding on the candles, lighting them up, and then swapping the temporary blocks for the leaves, and level 9 is complete. 2 moss blocks, followed by 2 leaf blocks, then surrounded by another 8 leaf blocks. 1 more moss block, 3 leaf blocks, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Let's also make these ones temporary blocks as well. Standing at the front, I am starting with the yellow candles. Swapping out the temporary blocks and lighting up the candles. That is level 11 complete. 4 center leaf blocks with another just here. Going up to the next level, we have 4 center leaf blocks and 4 temporary blocks. Red candles at the front and so on. Change the temporary blocks to leaf blocks and light up your candles. 3 leaf blocks, 2 leaf blocks on top, then another leaf block. Okay, I'm going to change that one to a temporary block and that one as well. Yellow candles there and red candles there. Light them up and replace the temporary blocks with leaf blocks. and the star will be going up there. This video on screen will take you to the star tutorial, so I hope to see you over there.